Good morning. It's the Barbados Beach House channel. Welcome to new subscribers. Thank you for the comments yesterday. For those new to the channel, this is just about us diarising via video the build that we crazily started 2 years ago. Thanks for the feedback last night. Some new people on there that I don't recognise, so thanks for the comments. Any information, like I always say, that you need to see or want to know, let me know. Anyone that's looking to build on the island needs some help or advice or connections, please reach out. Before I carry on, if you don't mind, obviously hitting me with a like and a subscribe down below. I think we're at 956 at the moment. Wouldn't it be nice to get to 1,000? We seem to be hovering around that 9 to 950 mark, and we've done it for about a year. So it would be lovely to try and get us a little bit over. I'm out here, guys, sweating for this, you know? Help me. So anyway, lovely to speak to some people on social media yesterday about some things that are going on the island. Someone that I know on the channel has bought a place on the island and needs some help, so hopefully we'll be able to help that individual out. And I'm looking forward to obviously helping that individual with some of the connections I've got to meet on the island. Some great people, which I'm sure they can take over those relationships and hopefully benefit from them. What have we been doing in the last couple of days? One thing we've been doing in the last few days, as you can see above, I'm standing on the patio in the shade. Wow. So we bought these big shades. I think I might have mentioned in one of the previous videos, we bought these big shades. The issue we had with this, okay, let me start again. The actual house itself, the main house here and the cottage here, was always meant to have a roof above it. So you can't really see it here, but if you see that, this little beam here, if you like, on the end, right on the other side, which I'll show you in a second, is another beam, and this is actually about 8 inches, 10 inches taller than it should be. The reason why is because there was meant to be a concrete floor going right across the whole thing, and this, what I'm standing in, was actually meant to be our living area. So these windows here potentially weren't going to be there. There was going to be windows going from here all the way over to here, and then, sorry to spin you around and make you feel like you're feeling sick, then a set of double patio doors going from here, so whole set, from there all the way along here to here. So this was going to be our living area. So the house was actually going to be an L shape. We were going to have our living area inside here, coming across into the kitchen, living room, diner, then it would come into here as an undercover living area, and during the day you better open up these doors and these doors and air would blow straight through, and above was going to be our bedroom. So I'll upload in a minute the actual architect drawings of what it was meant to look like. To give an example, some telltale signs. You know, there's a light switch here, for instance. Most people go, what's that for? Is it going to be for a light above the door here? It was actually meant to be the light switch for the staircase that was meant to go from here, get it right, here, diagonally all the way up here to the bedroom area. But obviously it got to a point where cost and time and space, it just got out of control, and there was just no need for it. So we still had the drawings done for it, we still submitted planning permission for it, and the planning permissions were approved for it, but we never went up. That obviously has then put pressure on what we're going to do with the floor here, because we knew it was going to crack because of the span, and we obviously, at the moment, we're still, as I've said in the video a couple of days ago, we're still looking to get these cracks ground back out again, get them refilled, and put a pickleball court on here. But this was going to be our living area. So at night, this would be open, and the doors would be shut in here. So we'd be sitting in here in the evenings with the doors shut, and during the day it would be open. So it would have been awesome. Anyway, what that created was the second issue, which is there's now no shade over. So you have a massive patio area, which is amazing, but trying to put some form of solution over a 32-foot span by 45 foot is obviously a bit of a feat on its own. So even things like these sails, you know, normally sails are meant to be sort of between 10 and 30 inches each side. You know, I mean, if you look up here, we're probably about 110 inches on this one. This one's about the same. And because obviously they're shades that they're never dead square, they've always got like a bow to them to try and take the tension. So you're pulling in a diagonal action. So rather than, so this is a 5-meter sail. So rather than being 5 meters apart between the ropes, you're probably about another 1.5 meters to 2 meters either side. So a 5-meter sail lands up being 9-meter span. So let me show you what I mean. I'll come over here in the shade and I'll show you what I've done yesterday in the blistering hot, by the way. So this one, I'm trying to make this as central to this left-hand side as possible so I can put another one up. But obviously I have an issue with this, the corner on here, because the building stops. So I've had to try and pull it over to this corner. And this one, as you can see, is right over here. So the next shade, and believe it or not, it's worked out quite well. Believe it or not, this is actually just on 50% of the building. So I did want to try and have that shade a bit further over. So as you can see now, what time are we? 10 o'clock in the morning. The sun is not directly above at the moment. The shade, as you can see on the patio, is here and the shade is there. So you get the sun is going to come up and over, and the shade itself was over here this morning. It's moving along as the sun goes over. So when we put another shade up, that's going to be shaded at the moment, and obviously the two will move along. So I'm hoping we'll get like a little bit of an eye shape in between here with the two sails crossing over each other. So I'm about to go back up whilst the clouds are over to drill another 4 holes, one here, one over here, and then another 2 on this side, and I'll tie those up. Now, it was quite difficult on my own trying to, I mean, getting it up is obviously quite difficult, but the main thing was trying to get the tension on the ropes needed to make sure that the sail is as flat as possible. Now, again, because the buildings were designed to actually have a flat roof going across, I don't have different levels. So again, I've got a very flat sail. Now it's fine at the moment, but when rain goes on it, it's not a waterproof sail, but obviously it will trap water and that will then create a sag. So my predicament is at the moment, I'm going to leave it as it is for now and get the other one up and see what happens when the first rainfall comes. Bearing in mind, it's not as if I can just get a broom handle and push it up and push the water off. We're 13 foot up in the air. So I may have to land up taking this one out and drilling it in the wall here somewhere just to create a bit of a slope off of it, so that one, it creates more shade over here. So at the moment it'll be more over here. It'll be going around that corner there. But also when rain lands on it, it will be running off, and on this one potentially drill it about here so it runs off that side as well. So some people keep one corner at one height and one corner at the same, and then drop this corner and this corner, so you get like a line from the middle and you've got to drop either side. But I really want to make sure that it's given the shade needed. But obviously I'm very mindful that I don't think, even though I've pulled it quite tight, I don't think we're going to get the water running. So anyway, as you can see, as I've been talking, the sun's come out even more. So I'm going to go up and now fry myself and set another 4 holes in. But what I've done, just to let you know, just again from my point of view, I go a bit above and beyond, as you guys know. The kits that some of these sails come with, this one doesn't come with a kit, by the way. It's bloody expensive, but it comes with a separate kit, which in Koymans, I think this was about 700. And I think the kit, the proper 4-piece kit is about 225 Bayesian, so about 115 US. But again, it was very basic. So what I've done is I've gone for these. Now the only downside is they're not stainless steel. So really what I should be doing is covering them in grease and putting them in the hole. And you're going to say, why would you put grease in a hole? Obviously, sure, that's going to make it wouldn't do, but it would protect it from rust inside the hole. I'm certainly going to have to cover from here upwards, because I can see that rusting quite quickly. So I might put these in for now and maybe try and find some stainless steel ones on the island. But anyway, I've got 4 of those, so I intend, again, they're in Koymans, they're about 5 Bayesian each. As you can see, they're M10s. It works out, just to let you know, I mean, this is solid, and this is about twice the size of the stuff that cut the kits. The kits have these little square plates with a little eye on it, and you put 4 screws in. I mean, with the winds we get here and how much of a span that is, I just don't see how that would hold. So anyway, I'm not listening to them, I'm going meaty. That lands up being an M10, is obviously the inner piece. So that is like a 10 mil, if that makes any sense. But the outer piece is actually here it's 5/8. So I bought 2 drill bits for 5/8. I drilled one yesterday, it fits nice and snug. Now also, when you put these in the hole, you're not going to get them back out again very easy, because as you pull, it pulls that nut through, which pushes those shims out. So make sure that you drill the hole deep enough, make sure that you're getting it just to that top washer, and then from that top washer, make sure you can actually get it in the hole and you can hammer it down. If you need to pull it out, you need to try and pull it from the top of the washer, this piece here, trying to do it one-handed. If you pull it by the nut or this ring, then all you're going to do is pull the inner thread through, and it will push those things out and you won't get it out. So they're designed to go in, they're not coming out, obviously. So anyway, I put 4 in yesterday, they gripped really well. I then got a adjustable spanner and just turned them around until they really bit, so they're nice and tight. And then I've tried to learn, I'm not a sailor, so forgive me, I've tried to learn how to do the knots. So obviously one needs to be like a noose, so you can actually tie it round, pull it tight, and that's it, job done. The other one has got to go over to adjustables, and I'll show you the adjustables I've been using. but it's got to go to the adjustables, and you've got to be able to pull it really tight and get it onto the eye, and then you use them to actually adjust out. Now forgive me, I don't know what the technical name for them is, but let me just show you one. Okay, there's one with a double eye on it. So basically, once both ends are attached, then you turn this middle piece, and this middle piece tightens both. So you start by adjusting it so they're both really out by about 1 inch to 2 inches either end. You stretch it as much as you can and attach it, and then you can turn that middle piece and it pulls in 2 inches one side and 2 inches on the other. But obviously you've got to start by getting it really taut in the first place, otherwise it doesn't work. Now, one thing I did do, I used this rope here, which, forgive me, I don't have actually, no, I don't have a label anywhere to tell you what it is. It's a nylon rope. They're all made of a very similar material. So this one here, for instance, is braided nylon. So that's what I've been using. The downside of braided nylon, you get quite a bit of give in it. So I mapped it out on the floor, I cut all the ropes to size. By the time I got up there, I was probably about 1 foot to 2 foot too much. I think it would have been different if you used like a braided cotton. So I think a braided cotton would be better for a slack point of view, but I think a braided nylon would be better from an age point of view. The other thing to do obviously is to get some stainless steel cord, and then you can obviously crimp it, but it's very expensive on the island. They don't do 316 being the higher grade stainless steel, 304 being the lower. And also you need to have, it doesn't matter whether it is 316, you have to have it plastic coated. And I can't find plastic coated 316 on the island, so I don't want any more rust issues. So I've decided to go along with the braided nylon for now. But obviously these are not stainless, which I would probably need to replace, or at least gunk completely with grease. Anyway, don't forget, I'm always boring you, so give me a like if I'm giving you the content you like. I'm going to go up and drill these 4 holes now, and I think I'm going to stupidly try and get the other sail up today. It is quite a cloudy day, so fingers crossed it'll carry on, because yesterday I didn't get around to doing it until 2 o'clock, and the sun came out and I absolutely cooked. So I'm going to get these 4 bolts up there now. Oh, and the other thing I had to do obviously is the lights. I had to take the lights down and put the lights back under, and so I'm going to have to do the same with these as well. So this one I'm going to learn from. I'm going to literally take it down first, put the sail up, and then do it the other way. I didn't do that yesterday. I pulled this up and it landed up pushing the lights up. I had to take the lights off, throw them over. And on your own, when you're 13 foot up in the air, it's quite difficult to do with one ladder. And it's a Bayesian ladder. It's quite entertaining when you go out there with drills and everything around yourself. Anyway, I'll take some pictures in a minute when I show you what I've done upstairs, and I'll show you where I've done the hooks. So I'll check in a second. Okay, get the old trusty hat on so I don't actually burn everything to pieces. And this is where we are. Okay, so this one is about 6 inches from the end. As you can see, I've gone reasonably central, but not too far to the front because I don't want to blow the front. And as a result of that, this one needs more tightening, but we have got a nice gap here, so with the wind, shouldn't make that touch. However, on this one, it goes into a wider beam. So this is where the actual floor of the top room was meant to be going, straight across. And there's the beam over there, look. So that beam and that beam were meant to house a big roof. As a result of that, we had this put on because it was doing my OCD in. From downstairs, it was a drop to this surface here. So we're now the same height, but this one's thinner. But as a result of that, I did put this one a bit further backwards. Now the downside to that is, as you can see, we're very close now. So the wind is going to keep knocking that. So really what I should do is re-drill that one a bit further forward, because I can see that giving me some issues on the front. As you can see here, there's already some cracking. So again, this should have been covered with some form of sealant, so I might get that done, because the last thing you want is water going into these cracks, because then it just blows the front. So anyway, so I'm gonna have to put another one. I'm gonna have to measure pretty much the same as that one, 6 inches from here, 6 to 7. We have to go a little bit further because obviously there's already a drain there, so I have to go a bit further over. That one will get drilled there, and however far that one there is from that end, I'll measure, and I'll do the same from that end as well. Hopefully we'll get into the meaty stuff, which looks like we might do. And then hopefully the sails will be roughly crossing over each other, so that we should be about here. So we'll have like a slight eye about that, hopefully. And also got to do the same over there as well, drill another hole over there. The downside to that is we're up on that column. So hopefully whatever the measurement is going to be here, we'll try and make it maybe 10 inches, and that should help us clear the column that's obviously sitting up here, the little beam. And then it's hoping the clouds come across and come up and do the painstaking task of obviously creating these ropes on my own. Wish me luck. Okay, these two have been done. This one unfortunately did land up coming into the thinner and right next to the lights as well, which have got to be taken off. And this one, unfortunately, even at 12 inches, landed up being quite close to here. So anyway, that's 12. That should mean that we can just about cover over there and move over. That said, I forgot that beam is not in line with the house. It's actually over here. Oh, anyway, it's not major. So we could have probably, if we're going to be going in line with that one, we could have pulled this one over. But anyway, I need to do it in line with this 40 foot, not that 40 foot, to keep it where I need it to be. So it just means we'll have to shorten this one over here. But that works okay. I think we're around about, is it 1 block? Yeah, so it looks like 8 inches. Looks like 1 block recess backwards. So again, this was meant to have an 8-inch recess as well, because that's where the doors were going to go. The doors were going to connect straight to here. So anyway, still got some finishes to put on here as well, which I can see. You don't get up on the roof that often. We need to get some finishes on here. This is to the sink. This is a sink breather. This is a drain pipe that would have gone upstairs. This is water that would have gone upstairs. That's a kitchen breather. And there's another drain there that would have been for the patio. So the bedrooms themselves were going to be about 20 foot, which would be about here. And then this bit was going to be a balcony. So yeah, that's the drainage and the guttering for that as well. And then obviously some more hot and cold feeds here to go upstairs as well. There's a hose actually here. In fact, they've got a plumber coming out today to do some stuff. And one thing I'm going to get him to do, I've got a leak over here, which seems to have been created since we put the tap on here. So I'm going to get him to sort that. I'm also going to get him to put a tap up there as well, so we can actually hose down and clean up here. So yeah, that's where we are so far. So I'm going to go over now and do the other two, which means moving the monstrous Bayesian ladder, which is not bloody light. So anyway, wish me luck. Okay, I've had a bit of a gap in between work, so I thought I'd just give you an update as I start again. The sun has gone beyond the clouds, which is great. Second shade is now laid out, and I've now started off by cutting the actual ropes roughly to the same length as the ones that are up there with a little bit of slack. You're best off leaving them as long as you can, obviously, and then you can cut them to size if you can. I've got away with actually buying 3 bundles of rope. I think two were 100 foot and the other one was 75. So fingers crossed, that will be fine. So I've got the 2 eyes drilled in at above, which I showed you earlier. I've got to do the other 2 over there because I've had a big gap in between doing this. So I'm going to start off by tying these off onto each corner and get these ones tied up first, utilising the I don't even want to call them actually. Let me know in the comments below if you know what they're called without me searching. The tensioners. So basically you wind them right out. That was not right out. We've probably got about another inch to go. Attach those onto the rope, attach these onto these, and then you can pull them tight and then do them on the other side. And then once you've actually got it as tight as possible, then on all 4 corners you can tighten those in by the couple of inches, so nearly 4 inches either one. And trust me, you do need it, certainly when you're doing a 5-metre one, because they're bloody heavy and you need to stretch them quite a bit. So I'm going to go up there now. I've thrown one up already there, look, wherever it is, there it is. So there's one thrown up there at the moment I can take straight over, so I'll go and tie that one off first. And then I'll come back down and drag this one up there manually and do it myself. So I'll check in with you after I've done those 2, or as I'm doing those 2. Don't forget to hit me with a like and subscribe down below if you don't mind. And give me some comments and tell me how mad I am out in the sun doing this. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. The second one is up, but it just needs adjusting now. So let me show you. Okay, so we've roughly got it where I wanted it to be. I was hoping it would be a little bit further that way. I can take it that way, but I'm very mindful the diagonal element here, which is meant to be over here somewhere, so we've already pulled it over, so I don't want to pull any more. You see the crease going through the middle, it's just because I've got to go over now and tighten this one here. So this one is pretty much where it needs to be, I think. I'm going to measure it in a minute, just make sure it's the same length as the one now. I'm not too sure it is. I think it might be a bit shorter, so I might need to pull that in a bit more, but that was bloody hard. Hence, yay blister. This one's pretty much where it needs to be as well. Looking across, it does look pretty straight. But obviously we've still got the 2 inches to be wound in there. and the 2 inches to be wound up on all the others as well, including the one I've just put on here as well. One pain in the backside is that Kooiman's didn't have the stainless steel one. So this is stainless steel, as you can see. That's stainless, that's not. That's alley. But yeah, for some unknown reason, mind you saying that the one yesterday's not, so it looks like I've got a mixture of them. But all the ones were zinc, there was no aluminium ones, stainless steel ones, sorry, so that's not going to be good. So I'm going to have to cover those in grease in the meantime of waiting for stainless ones to be sourced. Now I've got the painstaking exercise of again carrying the ladder over to here, getting back up, adjusting this. Hopefully that'll be the last time I need to get up there, so I can adjust those and then again cut the ladder back again and adjust these. So there's no point tightening these until all of them are where they need to be, otherwise it'll be very hard to get them on. So, but the hole's drilled in well. All of the drill eyes have all gone in nicely. We do have a sag on here, as you can see. I've said to you earlier on, it is my concern that there's a big sag, and obviously water's going to settle there. Even though it's not completely waterproof, it will still sit there like a tea bag and drain over time, which is a bit of a pain in the backside. So I need to have a think about that. I don't think there's anything I can do apart from, like I said earlier, about just lowering one of the corner points. That's the only thing I can really do. That will incentivise the water to go over. But trust me, as soon as you start talking about a span like this with legs this long, trying to pull it in is just an absolute nightmare. So you need more people. I mean, obviously I'm doing it on my own as well, which doesn't help. So you start doing stuff like this on your own, it's very hard to be able to have the leverage to pull in when you've got no one helping you stabilise. So on here, obviously it's trying to pull me off the edge. So I'm trying to hold it as well as tie it, and then I'm trying to put it on, which is bloody hard to do when you're on your own. So anyway, note to self, do it with other people. So yeah, I'm going to climb over now, move the ladder, go and adjust the others, and then I'll check in with you. Don't forget to give me a like below and comment on how crazy I'm being. Thank you. Okay, before I start gassing, give me some comments below. What do you think? They have crossed over a little bit more than I thought they were going to. I thought we were going to have a little bit of an eye in the middle. But we don't. We have a crossover, which isn't too bad. And they are slightly out of sync. Will it do my OCD in? I don't think so. Looks okay. I think it probably will actually, looking at it. So, see what I mean? So, the back one is slightly to the left. So the back one, in all fairness, is centre. This one on the right, we actually took over a little bit further. So, yeah, not too sure. I'll sleep on it and see what happens with the shadows. But anyway, it's all up. It's all tightened. It just needs a little bit of an adjustment. Oh, and the other thing as well, I tied this bit on here to try and pull the cable up, and then forgot that once I've actually pulled it up, I've still got to get up there to untie that. So apart from a couple of bits of cord laying around, I'm done for the day. I think I've lost about a stone. I'm going to get some fresh water inside me, bit of steak, and that's it. So thanks for watching. Any questions about obviously what I've done and what I shouldn't have done, and or any advice you want, let me know. So I'll get this uploaded this evening. Thanks for watching. Help me get that over 1,000 subscribers if you can. That'd be much appreciated. And keep those comments coming. I do appreciate them. Thanks for your time.